I think we're live. Are we live? I think we're live. It's alive. We are live. What's up, Gary? Matt, Coots, Michael, Ben, William, Vimps, Retro Puffer, Jim's Home Studio, Rockin' Rob, Strat CPO, Deanna Fisher, Craig C, Zach A, Eric, Vimps, Speaker, what's up, bro? What's up, Larry? Ian, Matt, Zoots, John, Tom, Tony, what's up? All right. It's asking me to insert an ad. I'm saying no. What's up, John Doe? Trolls, Tactical, Ogre Lord, Knees Hurt, William, Surfby, Proto, Wendell, Yeti Mossy. Who is it? Da-da. Insert an ad for the PRS Double Neck Fund, right? What's up, Michael D? Jay Schaff. This isn't the original Vola, not even close. This is my most recent? No, I guess that's the most recent. This is the most recent TNC. I had a black one before, but it was more like gray. Wait, hold on. You know what that needs? That sort of style. It needs something like a add a little stone phaser. I do like the sound of these pickups. Dual function vibrato, dual fulcrum. Yeah, that bridge is made by Godo. Yep. Probably a few shots for you there. How do you like the Schecter Sun Valley Super Shredder? I liked it a lot. I was sad to see it go. But like all guitars of the week, they're only here temporarily. That's why it's only for the week. GTB says, I tried the SA-126, already returned it. Really? Bigger and heavier than you thought it would be. Yeah, I guess it's not hollow body, it's semi-hollow, right? I didn't love the neck either compared to the EVH stuff. Yeah, is it a larger neck? They're all sort of gravitating towards larger necks. It's a neck swinging contest out there. Do you still have the Hydra synth? I sure do. And if so, how do you like it? I like it a lot. It's the only synth I have with polyphonic aftertouch. So that's a good input device besides the good sound. And sound-wise, it's different than anything I have. It's very, very unique. You know, it's a bunch of modules, right, that can feed into each other. And off the guitar heaven it goes, exactly. Christopher says, it's a big guitar. I love my SA-126, and it's a small neck. Okay, good. Good to know. Just a big body. You know, and I think he had to do something that was very different from what, you know, his dad did. So, sort of smart to go with just like the semi-hollow and, you know, make it look a very different, you know, in a different category of guitars. It's not even solid body. So, you know, that's a big difference, right? Trying to put a little bit of distance between himself and his dad's legacy because he wants to try to, you know, be his own dude. I get it. Smart. You know, I think if he just came out and did what his dad did, you know, it wouldn't be as much credibility. It'd be like, well, that's your dad's thing, you know. So, no, it's good. The shape, of course, is familiar, but it's semi-hollow, so it's larger, more like a ES would be. And there you go. And 3 on the side headstock. I'm trying to remember if Eddie, I don't think he ever did 3 on the side, right? 6 on the side, and then he did the 4-2 split with Music Man. Oh, I guess EVH recently has been 3 on the side, because Music Man actually has either a trademark or a patent, maybe a trademark on the 4-2 split. What's up, Mike? It is 7 already, I know. Are you keeping the fluorescent green guitar? You know what? I was talking with them recently, and I don't think so, because they have some new guitars coming out, and they would let me keep it. They would let me keep it, but I even told them, I like everything about the guitar, but I'm not huge on the Fishman pickups. And I would never want to change those out, because that's just a waste of time and money. I'm in the Tom Bukovac. If I don't like the pickups, I get a different guitar. There's enough pickup housings out there that you can get another pickup housing than the one you have here. So that's the only thing. The thing is, I like the I like the B trunk rather than the A trunk because the A trunk is way too metal pushed, right? It's got a big mid push for the metal, which I get. That's what they're all doing. But I would have to like reverse the wires so that like down is up and up is down. And I was like, you know what? Do you just have another guitar? So they'll find something else for me. They have something coming out very similar to this. I want to say it's got an Evertune bridge on it. Their first foray into the Evertune world. So maybe I'll get one of those here to check out, and they'll take this one back. Exactly, it's only okay for other dads to imitate. Ed. Did I see Wolfie play Eruption backstage? Yeah, I did. That clip's been out there. It's out there. It's in the ether. You know, I didn't tune this before I came on here because I was running a little late. Let's just double check the old tuning on the old Tune-O-Matic here. Well, that's just a tiny bit sharp there. Yeah, that could be a problem right there, kid. Well, no, that's sharp too, so maybe not. I feel like they're in tune with each other. But the whole thing is just a little bit sharp there, kid. You're not the sharpest guitar. Actually it is. It is. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're just working our way down. I'm working my way back to you, babe. La, la, la. That's my baby left me. There we go. It's my baby left me. No, not raga. Have you started working your contacts at Ibanez to demo gear? Well, I don't have any contacts at Ibanez. Ibanez in the U.S. is a whole different thing. It's like Ibanez is weird, like a master hive with a bunch of like separate nests. So, well, they come out of Japan. There's different parent companies that are independently owned that have like exclusive import rights. So Ibanez USA is the exclusive, just like Roland USA is the exclusive import company for Roland. But they're not Roland, they're Roland USA, the exclusive importer, the sole and exclusive importer of anything Roland. But they have nothing to do with Roland other than having a lock on that as an import. And they do the warranty support, right? They act as front-end support. They make sure manuals are translated into the correct language. There's a lot of things that go along with it to support the market. But they have nothing to do with the design or the building of anything. So when it comes to like Ibanez USA, they've never been too forthcoming. Most of the people I knew who I see get Ibanez guitars get them from Sweetwater. Sweetwater sponsored this video. I want to thank Sweetwater for sending me this guitar. That's right. So I have the same thing, but with Zounds. Zounds will send me some guitars, so I can have Zounds send me, any Ibanez that's out there. I wouldn't go for anything too expensive, but because it just feels gratuitous. But probably find something. feels out. That does feel out. Hold on, hold on. A couple of bends later, and I knew it. Son of a bitch. La 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 la. Ah, there it is. You know, you hear that same chord enough times, you know when it's out even a tiny bit. Steve, the string gauge that Yngwie uses to really make a difference, or is it his light touch and riff playing? Well, probably a combination of the two. Lighter strings are just easier to push around when you get older. It's literally that simple. And some people, it's a famous quote from Billy Gibbons, right? I forget who he was talking to, but Billy Gibbons was playing either like 7s or 8s. And he was talking to someone, he was like playing like 11s, might have been Stevie Ray. And he was like, why are you working so hard? Like, give yourself a break. And Rick Beato had that video that showed that the tone actually seemed to get better with the thinner strings than the thicker ones. Because tighter cables maybe don't vibrate as freely as looser ones. It's all about tension versus diameter versus scale length. You know, was it B.B. King? Yeah. He's like, why? What? Right? And it's like, yeah, you know what? Maybe. I keep telling myself tone, but maybe not. So I've been using 10s forever. I used 11s for years, but I couldn't stick with 11s. They were hurting my hands. So I went to 10s, and I've been with 10s for a while. I am slow. I was on 9s when I started out. I used Ernie Ball Super Slinky. But I've been using the old regular slinks lately. But I've got about I'm like a 50-50. Floyd Rose guitars, I tend to like the 9s more, but it you know, again, it really, how soft do you want the touch? The touch can get so soft that the tension between the two sides can get so light that just the pick stroke is so much change in tension that when you release it, you get a flutter. Kind of like the Brad Gillis flutter, but on every note. That doesn't sound good. You notice it. So there's it depends on the bridge, you know. Oh, man. Your 10s on all your guitars except Van Halen guitars. Yeah, right? Oh man, what a week. It has been busy. Tony says 10s and 11s, most guitars, some 12s. Yikes. No, 12s. That's crazy. Maybe on an acoustic, but not on electric. Use 9 on Fender type guitars, 10 on Gibson type. Yeah, shorter scale. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Right, longer scale, get a thinner cable, thinner wire. You know why they're not all plain? Because they're very hard to bend. They get too thick, too hard, right? They get Like they really turn into, they don't vibrate any longer. So for a while they did it with the flat wound, but then they figured round wound actually made them even more flexible because you could have a thinner core, and that thinner core made it even more flexible. Right, you could thicken the string with the wrap and keep the core relatively small, and that made it way more flexible. This is not the Shark Vola. Don't confuse this with, that's a gloss top, bro. Don't confuse it with the, with the ash top. And this has, I'm trying to think, I don't think that other one has a humbucker in the neck. I think the other one's just, it's a single double, right? Yeah, you with the elixirs? You in the elixir cult? We won't hold it against you. Oh, who's that? Well, that's the Bud Man. Yeah, come on over, Bud. Oh, my bud. You my bud. Buddy. Yeah, my bud. Because he buds like a buddy. So they lost my... I had a couple of devices that were supposed to be delivered. I ordered out of China a couple of the little handhelds. They had such a great sale. Everything was so cheap. I go back and the prices are way up from where they were when I bought these. In fact, they were up like even the day after I bought them. But anyway, I got a few devices at really short money. And so I ordered 2 devices on the first day of the sale. And the other thing that was weird is that, I mean, have you ever seen this? I went to go buy a device, and there was a banner at the top saying, in 4 hours and 15 minutes, and it had a countdown clock, this device will be, and it showed the price, and it was like $10 less. You know, when it's on like our special like spring sale day. So in other words, it was like, you can buy it now, but we're telling you hold up, because if you just wait like 4.5 hours, you can save like $10 on it. On a $40 item, that's a pretty good percentage. When something goes from $40 to $30, okay. So, yeah, he's a good bud. So yeah, I picked up a few. 2 of them were out for delivery for a week. I was like, they're the longest delivery ever. Where the hell is this guy going? And an item I ordered 4 or 5 days later showed up. And I was like, oh, God, they lost those other 2 items. But they were in the States. They'd already gone through customs. They'd been released from customs like a week earlier. So I finally got a special email from Uni admin saying, your packages are found. They're going to be delivered, and you're going to see them within like 24 hours. And they've been rescanned into the system. And sure enough, it did update. It was called like late parcel rescan, and it did show up like the next day. It was there. So eventually eventually we got them all. What were the devices? Well, we got a few. I threw them over here because I thought someone might ask about them. We'll go over the quick history right here because it's not that many, and we can just go right through it. Let me just move these around. And move that there, something like that. Okay, all right. So as you know, it all started with the Miu Mini Plus. It's the smallest of all of these. You can actually get these much cheaper now. I think I paid like $75. I could probably get it for under $50 now if I looked. Pretty good device. Lacks analog sticks and double ports. There's a few things that make it not quite as good. It has good software, good third-party support, pretty good game support. Not a bad unit. That's where I started Miu Mini Plus. From there, I'm trying to think of the second. What was the next thing I got? I think the next one was the R36S. This has no brand. This is called a gaming console. Handheld gaming console. These are, right on the back it says, if you can see it there. It's a game console. How dare you? This I paid, I want to say $38. They were recently as low as $30 bucks, shipped from China. What's nice about this is it's the same screen as the other one, 640 by 480 IPS, but it adds the analog sticks, and that's huge on some games to have the analog sticks versus just the D-pad. And it has, like that other one, support. It's cheaper. It has 2 ports. It adds analog sticks. Like, so compared to the Miu Mini Plus, this is just like such a much better unit. After that, I pick up the Retroid Pocket Press, the most expensive one by far. It's got a touch screen. The screen is gorgeous. It runs Android instead of Linux. I kind of hate it. I don't like this machine at all. Android sucks to set up. It's got all kinds of quirks. It's just a big pain in the ass. The Linux systems work way better. They're way more lightweight. And although this has a really good chip and a touch screen and all kinds of cool things, it's like, it doesn't matter if can't get the game to run, or if the scraping software isn't nearly as good as the Linux stuff. You can't. On the R36S, on this one here, I have scraped all the box art in a video that shows you what the game will look like when you play it. So, like, if you're unfamiliar with the game, you can actually watch a few seconds of gameplay and say, "Oh, am I even interested in this game?" You know. And it was like literally $100. It was like $30, and this is like $130. Again, it's Android. It's touchscreen. The screen on this is gorgeous. They say it's leftover screens from the iPhone 6. That's the rumor. The resolution would match that. So I had those for the longest time. Again, that R36 is pretty good for so cheap. And I wind up picking up a Pow Kitty. This thing has been pretty awesome. That's a 720 by 720 1x1 screen, which you don't realize a lot of the old video games like Donkey Kong and Frogger, those were vertical CRTs. So the vertical screen gives you a lot less black bars on the left and right than a horizontal screen trying to fit vertical material on horizontal. So this has actually turned out to be pretty damn good. I really like the screen on it. And that brings us to our new ones that just showed up. 2 units. We'll start with this one here. The Mui. Kind of looks like an Android unit, but it is a Linux. Runs Linux, runs all the emulators and so forth. Not bad, but it's... I I would say the software experience, this one has a lot of promise, and because it runs Linux, you could see the community getting on it, but for right now, the software experience is just sort of so-so and whatever. You know, it's cheap though, under $50, right? This is the Ambernick. What is this? This is the RG35XXH. That's a horizontal 640 by 480 screen. This thing is pretty damn awesome, actually. Really good software experience, relatively inexpensive, and they do a like one thing that nobody else does, and that is they'll set up some of the games and they'll put in a special room where they'll say like vertical scrollers, right? Like the 1940 series, again, Donkey Kong, Pac-Man is a vertical game. Galaga, Galaxia, all those are all vertical games. Centipede is a vertical game, right? All those games they were CRTs on their side, right? They were verticals. Again, to make it so it was harder to copy. And that's what some of them are vertical, and you use the analog pad at the bottom with the D-pad to work it. It's actually really clever. Really clever. So far, this has been like pretty amazing. These two are probably, that two and the R36 are probably my 3 favorites. These other ones are more miss than hit. Right? Luckily, like I said, they're super cheap. Rico says he has the TriMui Smart Pro 5. I love it. Yeah, I don't know what that is. This is the TriMui Smart Pro. Yeah, TG5040. It's good. You can tell it's got good bones, right? Someone will come up with some. Imagine if someone could figure out how to do a freaking vertical scroller in this, that would be awesome. The other thing I found out, I've sort of discovered shaders, which they polish it up and make it look better, without a doubt. Of all the devices, what is your always go-to device? I think I get some of the best experience on this because of the 720p screen. It's either that, the R36S, really it's that one, or the new Ambernick. The Ambernick has really shown itself to be. So the Powkiddy. Here's the thing about this. This is just a vertical form factor for a unit they already had. It is identical in every way, except this is the vertical version. So you could get the Powkiddy RGB 30 and literally get this exact unit, but in a wide, which, you know, might be a little bit better ergonomically. You know. In fact, I'll probably pick up an RGB 30 because they're about they're a little bit more. These Powkiddies are a little bit more. These are more like $60, which starts to get into, do I really want to spend that much money on these things? I mean, they're kind of toys, you know, but they're fun. Until they break, and then you're trying to fix it. I think they're reusing iPhone screens. Looks vertical, like they're meant to be for a phone. Yeah. Certainly, that is the rumor with this Android phone. Because when you start it up and you look at the screen, you're like, oh my God. I mean, for a handheld gaming device, it's a pretty good looking screen right there, you know? The funny thing is like on the TriMui, this one here, if you like started like a Game Boy Advance game, they would put like an LCD overlay. A lot of people don't like that. It's a shader to make it look like an LCD screen. So you can turn it off. The thing is, when you turn it off, you realize, wow, you know, it almost looked a little better with it on. Because it softens the edges. It does make it look more like the original. Kind of weird like that. I've figured that out on a few of these. Setting up like a 2x shader with a soft CRT overlay It looks amazing. Gets rid of all the blockiness. It really, and it wasn't until I had them next to each other, because I took like 2 or 3 of them, and I said, well, which one of these has the best screen? And we put them next to each other. And 2 of them were very blocky, and 1 of them was smooth. I was like, oh, what's going on here? I was running a shader. And that shader smoothed all that shit out. So I figured out how to turn the shaders on, and get those going. Because there's 2 types of things. There's shaders and filters. And as I understand it, filters use the CPU, which hurt your performance, and shaders use the GPU, which are almost no performance hit. So I've seen the Lenovo Legion Go. That's one of the larger ones. It's kind of like an Odin, or like kind of like really a Steam Deck. I think there's a few of them out there. Asus, I think, put one out. They get too expensive. I even regret spending more than $100. What I want, my preference is getting something between like $30 and $50. Get a really good screen and be able to put a custom firmware on it. All open source, everything. That seems to be, because you can get such lightweight, versions of Linux. It really is amazing. Once it starts to get into like even $2.99, I'm out. I don't game that much. And to be honest, I'm a little bit more of a computer geek, right? Someone online said something like that. He's like, oh, I'm never going to play the games. I just need to have 35,000 games at my fingertips, all working at peak performance, right? And I'm more of an archivist. I'm like, I hear you. Yeah, I don't really game. In fact, I don't like any of the involved games. I don't really like any of the games. You know what I really discovered recently is the old, like, genuine arcade games. Like the ones like that were really in, like, from the golden age of arcades, because that's my age, right? 1977 when the first arcade system comes out, stand-up arcade. I'm 11 years old. I mean, I'm right in the zone. I remember when they showed up down at the Greek Spa, and all those old dudes sitting at that luncheon counter, harumphing, because they're hearing bleep, 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 in the background is they're playing Pac-Man or whatever it was. Some probably Space Invaders. That might be one of the first ones I remember. They got in, and they tried pinball, and they quickly got rid of those. Too loud, everyone complained, but they kept the video machines. They kept those video machines, and man, some of those games back then, still classics. Donkey Kong, that's a very early game. Space Invaders, some of the classics. And then, what's great is, and I can't stress it enough, you're not running emulated games. You're running emulated hardware. It is the original code. Somewhere in the 90s, they figured out how to strip those EPROMs, how to organize the EPROM code, and how to emulate the machines and run the code on a PC. And that worked its way to Linux, and that worked its way to these lightweight Linux boxes. It's literally been like 30 years in the making. Yeah, exactly. Defender, Space Invaders, Galaxian, Asteroids, Missile Command, all those. Here's the thing, though. If you run it and you don't run the right shaders, though, they're very blocky. You start adding the shaders, and it looks like a gorgeous little Trinitron TV. Everything looks, it's weird. It's like, and you know this if you're old enough, somehow it was both sharp and soft, right? It's like they take away that hard, jagged edge, but it's still somehow sharp. I tell you one that I tried the shader on and I thought it looked amazing was a game we used to play in the 90s, Donkey Kong Country. My wife was way into that, back before we were married. She would play that on our big rear projection TV, That monstrosity. Oh God, that was a period, right, when you went from CRTs to rear projection. Oh, a time that lives on in infamy. How many of those are in landfills? Every single one. Yeah, Centipede. That was one of the games I remembered. Centipede was one of the games we had. We had Centipede and we had Frogger. We had Galaga, and because that was the second one, not the original Galaxian. We had the second one, Galaga, whatever the hell it's called. And we had Tron, but Tron never worked. Couldn't get Tron to work. And we had Asteroids, or an Asteroids clone, but I could have sworn it was Asteroids. Yeah, putting quarters on the machine, exactly, to get your place in. Absolutely. I remember a dude walking up while I was playing the game. He put a quarter on the machine. I was like, what the hell is that? He goes, I'm next. I was like, oh, well, excuse me. Missile Command, I tell you, a friend of mine, we used to go down to this pizza place. I just remember going down there and eating pizza and blowing through countless quarters playing Elevator. Was it Elevator Action? Let's see. EVH, yeah, there it is. Nope, hold on, calm down there. Right there. There she blows. There's your new EVH. Introducing the SA-126, the very definition of innovation incarnate. The SA-126 is a hybrid between semi-hollow and solid body guitar. Think chambered centered block solid body blended with a bolt-on neck, then kitted out with features most frequently associated with high-performance guitar brands, such as a slim neck, jumbo frets, and higher output pickups. Damn. The brainchild of Wolfgang Van Halen, the instrument was created with versatility in mind, striking the perfect balance between pummeling rhythm tones and lightning-fast lead runs. You know what? I want to be the copy guy. Can't I be the copy guy? I want to write that copy. No set neck. Well, they don't want that tone-sucking glue in there. All the best guitars are bolt-on. Everybody knows that. The all-new SA-126 features a mahogany body that is chambered in a basswood. Basswood? Oh, well, look at you, basswood. Center block added for stability and tone. 22 12 through 16-inch compound ebony fretboard with jumbo frets and triple block inlays on a graphite reinforced mahogany neck. Exactly, it's tone screws. How dare you? Not only that, there's 4 of them. Okay, how many tone screws on a set neck? 0. 0 tone screws. Introducing the EVH 126 bridge and neck pickups created by Fender's resident pickup designer Tim Shaw and the EVH team. What color you like? You like the old stealthy? You going black? You want darkness? You doing the purple quilt? Purple quilt, purple quilt. Purple quilt, purple quilt. God damn it. I feel like I'm out a little bit. It is so freaking... Yeah, you're sharpness there, kid. You're going sharp. Going sharp there, kid. A little too sharp. A little bit. Oh, God effing damn it. What's wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? At last. There you go. All right. Yeah, the gray's pretty good. So different from EVH though. It's got the E hole, right? Made a little E. Doesn't have an F hole, it has an E hole. I'm just saying, you could have just gone with an A hole, right? That looks expensive. $18.99. So these are all Mexico. $18.99, yeah. If it's under $3,000, it's not in the U.S. $17.99 because you're getting a matte finish, and $17.99 because you're getting a matte. Yeah, it's a little bit more work to do a gloss finish because they have to go through a buffing process. So there's definitely more hands-on labor when you go gloss versus satin, without a doubt. That's why satin generally is a little bit cheaper because of that labor fact. Yeah. Sure. Why not? Send over 6. I'll talk to Zounds. I'll see if they can get me one when they come out. Who else? Because they're huge with Fender. Wampler? You're a Wampler. Wampler. You're talking about Wampler. Yeah. It's the Mofetta. Mofetta. When I order a Greek salad, I ask for Mofetta. So this is basically an old MOSFET distortion, right? Isn't this the pedal that Josh Scott came out and said was like, this is actually a pretty decent pedal, and they sold out everywhere, and used ones went from like $25 to $850 overnight. Right? I feel like this is a reaction to a Josh Scott video, JHS. But basically, it's to reproduce a MOSFET circuit, and then of course it has that texture switch to help fix what was crappy about the original. That's kind of like a lot of the new pedal companies do. They'll take an old pedal like the Boss Heavy Metal pedal that, for a lot of people thought it kind of sucked or had one sound, and they'll fix it, right? They'll go classic mode and new modern mode, and the modern mode, sounds a lot better. They figure out what made the original one kind of too harsh, too bright, too scooped, too insert word here, and they try to correct it. Exactly, a lot more feta. Mo feta. Why didn't they make it the WVH headstock? I think because, again, I think he's trying to be a little bit more individual. That headstock on that, not going to lie, it does remind me of a headstock. What does that remind you of, that headstock? Doesn't it kind of like the Charvel Desolation series? Right? Wasn't there a Charvel series that had that sort of like art side and a notch in the top? No, did I dream that? I thinking of something else? I could have sworn it was Charvel, which, if you think about it, wouldn't be right. Would be IP under the umbrella. Yeah, or Schecter. Or Schecter, right. Yeah. Yeah, right, like, yeah. I know exactly, right. The Demon? Trying to think of the guitar with that. Yeah, Super Lisa's like the Schecter. Yeah, right. Sort of that, sort of like an exaggerated side cut. Right. An exaggerated side cut. 3 on a side. Schecter Solo 2. What's up, Mark? I know, I've seen that, Tony. The Schecter is an inverted Gibson. They can scissor each other. So my wife signed up for IKEA tonight, and she got an email today. They canceled it. They won't have enough food. They know from their numbers now that they won't have any leftovers at the end of the day. They're going to run out, and they're not making more. So that's one of the downsides to the Too Good To Go. You could just have your order canceled. They're like, yeah, we're not going to have enough. Sort of interesting. We have done well with that. Really well. There was something else I wanted to show you recently. Let me see. No. No. I did get the latest round for the next round for the guitar of the week. Let's see here. I guess I don't have it. Let me see if it's still up. It might still be up. Where would that be? That would be here. And then here. And lastly, here. I just got to sort. And it could still be, it could be gone. Their website sucks sometimes. It really does. There it is. It's not gone. I mean, it is gone, but it's not gone. Right there. See that? That's a Charvel. That's a green. That green is, that's a not very common green. That's a Charvel Model 2. OG. $449 is a great friggin' price for that guitar. But sadly, it is, I believe, long gone. You just got site mapped. See, at the top, you can't see. At the top of the page, it says site map. You just got site mapped. And that's what happens. They might have had one other OG Charvel. Yeah, this 1C. That's still there, because it's $200 more. Not bad. Could use a serious cleaning, but not a bad OG. Boy, that shit just doesn't. Is this locked up somehow? Is that what it is? No. Something's causing that to block. Oh, third-party cookies blocked. That's what it is. Yeah. Well, I'm not unblocking third-party cookies, so I guess we won't be working that out. There's a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of sites break as soon as I turn on block third-party cookies. They're like, we can't display our hours to you unless you show us third-party cookies. We can't display a map to you unless you have third-party cookies. We can't give you search results unless you accept third-party cookies. And I'm like, all right, then I guess I'm good. You know, it's like you didn't realize how bad you're being tracked. I mean, you kind of did, but now it's blatant because as soon as you start to block it, they're all like losing their shit. They're like, but you're not getting the best experience. A Prestige RG 652 AHM, huh? That does sound like Ibanez. I'm not gonna lie. So let's go to. Is that a six? You got 6 strings on that? Is that a 6-stringer? Hold on. Let me look through this and get it. What was it called again? It was a RG652 AHM. AHM is the correct answer. Right there. And then here we go. That's a 622. 652. Hold on, it's got 7 pages. We're only on page 2. That 5120 looks nice. Oh yeah. 652. Hold on. I think this is it. Is that your guitar? Is that your card? That's a gorgeous neck. You got that? Is that your neck, dude? With the, oh yeah. I like that. You got the, bird's eye. Oh, look at that. Nice. Look at the bird's eye. I mean, I knew you had bird's eyes. I didn't know you had bird's eyes. Look at that. Oh, that's nice. That's a beautiful guitar. And it's got an edge tremolo, which I like. Now, that's a good one, dude. You got the green one? Do they show a green? Let me see if they show a green. Is that your guitar? I'm entertaining myself now. Let me entertain me. Oh yeah. This particular one isn't quite as a little, not quite as bird's eye as the other one. Hopefully you got a chock full of eyes on that fretboard. Because, wood varies. So sometimes, I know that with my Select Strat, that the first one I had way more figured neck than the second one. That's a nice looking guitar, though. Congrats on your new guitar. Just says, okay, that's it, yeah. Girl, I was just thinking about that guitar yesterday. Look at you. It's not so much on yours, yeah. You wonder, again, it just varies. You see that with all kinds of stuff. It's supposed to come with a figured top, and the figure it just varies. Plays like an absolute dream, yeah. But, they're always good playing guitars. Bird's eye fingerboard is good, but not super figured, yeah. My EVH Wolfie Special has a flamey neck. Is that standard? I do not think so. That was just the luck of the draw. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but once in a while you'll see it. An absolute gorgeously flamed Squire neck. It happens. I had a gorgeously flamed, like Mexi classic 50s Strat. And I was looking at it going, look at the flame on this friggin' neck. I regret a little not. I just didn't have the money at the time. I couldn't justify it. I have so many friggin' guitars. It's hard to spend money on guitars. But it was on tax-free weekend. So, again, this was probably last August, right? That's when they do tax-free weekend. So it would have been August of last year. It was tax-free weekend. And they had an Ibanez RG 550 Genesis reissue. It was $749, which is a pretty good price to start. But it came with the Prestige case because the very first year they were shipping them with the case. They stopped that. Now the case is additional. You see this? See, I'm hearing rumblings up here. And then it was $749. It came with a case. It was tax-free weekend, and they have a separate neck and fretboard, but the neck is 3 pieces. The center strip was completely flamed, and the whole fretboard was gorgeously flamed, right from top to bottom. It's not a one-piece neck. It's a neck and then a separate fretboard with maple. But it was all flame maple. And I'm like, oh, dude. Tax-free weekend. Flame maple neck. They got the case. I'm like, ay. Someone buy this before I do. And someone did. It did not last long. Yeah, trigger not pulled. I was like, no. I couldn't justify it. I just couldn't. I had too many friggin' guitars. And I'm like, I just can't do it. But looking back, and now when I get the itch to find a Genesis, then none of them measure up because none of them have. I tell you, I have a lot of guitars that I just really regret not buying. There was an artist package custom 24, or it might have been a McCarty. I think it was a custom 24. It had like this bloodburst top that was so friggin' gorgeous. And the birds had the abalone in the center with the mother of pearl inlay around it. It was so, everything was so gorgeous, and certificate of authenticity and just everything. And I had been looking for one, and this thing it just stood out, and it was $17.99. And it was a special, like, anniversary version. It didn't have special inlays or anything, but man, it was just gorgeous. You could just tell. $17.99. I should have just jumped right on it. Right now, that same guitar would be $37.99. Easily. Although I have seen guitar prices on at least Guitar Center coming down in a major way. They're shooting for the moon, and they found out the moon is a bit too far away. So they're falling back to earth. Yeah, no regrets. Not even one letter. I bought a little tiller, trying to till up my land. It's like it's one thing after another. It just never ends. Gotta clean out all these beds, redo them all. They're all real bad. Gonna paint the house in a major way. Remember in the early 80s when a Les Paul Custom was under $1,000? Oh, yeah. Yeah, early 80s you could get a Les Paul Custom for like $750, $850. You could buy a Strat for, what, $5.99? Let me see if I can find... Because I had an old price list, and I know I took some pictures of it. It's got a lot of good guesses, but there are a lot of price lists, a lot of receipts, but it's not exactly finding that original price list. No. Which was old dot matrix. Buddy? Buddy? Buddy's upstairs going, hello? 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 I'm down here! Hello? Yeah, it's not finding. It's finding a lot of stuff, but it's not finding that exact. Not finding that exact price list. Some good guesses, though. But I don't see it. It was from, I want to say, May of 1982. So that would put it, 41 years ago. And it was an eye-opener. Because what's interesting is that the Fender prices have kind of stuck with inflation for the most part. It's the Gibson ones that have outstripped inflation. But the Fender ones are almost dollar for dollar, straight up to inflation. You don't think Gibson having high prices is a... You think Gibson having high prices is a big mistake? It hasn't seemed to hurt sales. They said, they had some stat, I want to say in 2018 when they went through the bankruptcy because everyone was reporting on it. And at the time, they said that they had 40% of the over $2,000 market. 40%. I don't know if that's true, but that's a staggering number. There was another breakdown that had like Gibson at like 21%, Fender at like 20%, and everybody else at like, you know, or no, it was more like it was like 40% Gibson, 39% Fender in sales, and then 19% or was the remainder, whatever it was, remaining was all others combined. That was from like a NAM too. That was a NAM poll. You can get a Gibson SG with 24 frets. With a Floyd Rose is a tougher order. Body's just not that thick. I'm going to say no. Be trickier. Yeah, Alex Lifeson, but that's on a Les Paul, much thicker body. I have heard that prices on guitars, I have heard through the grapevine that they will be coming down because sales are hurting. So when sales are hurting, you lower prices to spur sales. It wouldn't have been in 1984. You couldn't get a Gibson Les Paul in 84 for $750. But you could definitely get a Les Paul Custom in... you could definitely get it in... let me see if I can look up by... I know it was printed, believe it or not. Okay. That got no results. Let's see if... It's finding a lot, but it's not finding that. It's almost like too broad of a sweep. But when I narrow it to, when I tailor the request too narrowly, it comes back with nothing. There's got to be a, and I don't even need, I just need one of them, and I'll be in the date range. Yeah, so, no results. No. No. When they get AI going with this, it will find it better, because they'll get the words off the page. Ooh. Oh, that has some promise. What's that? No. The right era, the right time, but not the correct document. That was as close as I've seen, though. Right there. There it is. All right, so, can I get some info? All right. I have the price list, but it's the used price list. I want the new. It doesn't help. So what did they say that was? That was... December 9th, 2014. So if we go back here, and we go to December of 20, bear with me here. Okay. All right. Oh my God, my kids are so, there it is. It's not a good, if I have any, that would have been around the time. If I have any more, or can I say like more like this? Because unfortunately the list I have, that's a bad basement flood right there. God damn. It looks like that. Right. You could have bought this flame top 59 Les Paul for, I want to say it's $7,500, and includes free airfare and limo service to and from the airport. Expires May 31st in 1982 for the 59 Les Paul Standard. And these aren't, right, no, these aren't reissues. That's a 56 Les Paul Custom. The problem is I can't zoom in on it. Right, this is a low res. I know I have better shots than that. And included in that are the new guitars. And you could get the exact price. And I know that the Fender, I want to say the Fender Strats were like $550, $599. A Les Paul was like $750, a Les Paul Standard, $699 maybe. And the Les Paul Custom was $799. That sounds about right. I don't think it's quite 4. So, if you go to do an inflation calculator. So if in this would have been May of 1982, the amount was, let's say, $799 for a Les Paul Custom. That'd put it at $2,500 today. Actually, $2,600 to be $2,596, not $4,000. Let's say it's $899. That'd put it at $2,900. So to get it to where it is right now, which is $4,500, it would have had to have been about $1,400 back then, about double what it was going for. Yeah, about $1,419. You couldn't have sold it for $1,400. You could have bought that '56 Les Paul Custom. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, how much is that '56? Where is it? It is, the 59 is $7,500. But how much is that 50? I can't quite make it out. Like $1,200, $1,500. Woke up to an $800 charge you didn't make on your debit card. That sucks. Now, you'll probably get it corrected, but not without having to go through a bunch of bullshit first. Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. I tend to sell for a little bit less just to move it, rather than holding out forever to get that last, $50. I generally look and see what they're going for and try to price it just a little bit less than everybody else. Like if I was going to sell like a Fender Classic Strat, I'd go on and look up the ones that are almost exactly like the one I have. What's the cheapest one? Oh, $769. Well, there's one for $499, but it's missing the lower horn, and it's one that's in roughly the same condition as mine. Because on Reverb you're gonna get everyone's aborted project that just looks ridiculous. But I'd find out, $769. I'd put mine up for like $739 or $749. Just a little bit less than the cheapest one on there. Because some dudes will just they will just buy the cheapest one, right? Guitar's a commodity. Credit Union said it might take 6 to 9 months to clear the investigation, man. Yeah, we just got a letter from my insurance company declaring my son at fault for an accident, and my wife ran it to me. She's like, look at this, and I look at it and I'm like, how can they declare it like his fault? How is he at fault of this? And I go, oh wait, this is November of 2022. This is when he rear-ended that guy. She was like, oh right. I go, no, that is 100% his fault. She was like, all right. It was very little damage, but there was an accident. There was a report, so I'm like, oh, no, they are correct. No, for that accident. That was such a light, again, try to avoid it because it's on your permanent record, at least for 6 years in this state, and the damage was so friggin' minimal that it was like... But I thought it was this new one, and I was ready to freak out, but it wasn't. This new one was 100% not his fault. You can't drive down the road and have a car fling into your lane after rear-ending somebody else and totaling both cars and somehow be at fault. So, does Tony Iommi use the fast? I don't know about his neck preference. I don't think PRS is known for chunky necks. I think they're known for wide necks. He's got this whole thing about being a little bit closer to a classical guitar with a wider neck. No, the new one isn't his fault. That one from 2 years ago, though, that was his fault. Definitely. But this last one, no. 100% not his fault. But, you know, for now, I think if they ever said anything to him, I would, you know, I'd be all over it. You know, they have a way you can dispute it. And at first I was like, oh, we're definitely disputing this. But then when I looked at the date, I was like, oh, wait, the date of accident, November of 2022. I'm like, oh, no, this was that thing from 2 years ago when he was driving the Impala. She was like, oh, right. Remember the sun was in his eyes? He rear-ended the car in front of him very lightly. The damage was like so slight. But who knows what happened with that. Been checking that out. You know that one? A little tab nowadays is 3,500. You got that right. This car has almost no damage and they're trying to total it. And I was like, well, okay, but you're going to have to pay the total sum, not a partial sum. What'd you guys do for Mother's Day? We went out to this buffet. It was pretty friggin' awesome. They had the lobster rolls, and they had a full friggin' omelet station. They had a crepe station. They had a carving station. It was they had a lot of stations. It's pretty damn good. Those lobster rolls they were making, they could not make them fast enough. They had two guys just sitting there whipping up lobster rolls nonstop. Got your wife a lobster roll. There you go. Went to a BYO for bring your own for dinner. Yeah. Cocktails. There you go. Lobster's $20 a pound by you right now. In New Jersey, crazy, yeah. You want a good lobster roll, you drive up to Maine. Because everybody sells a lobster roll, and so there's a lot more competition. Jesus is coming to you. Ready? You better have my money. That son of a bitch. Been friggin' years of excuses, man. Some cults never die. My mom's Audi 2019 got a little touch. 4,200. Same with my wife's Caddy. She got hit in a parking lot. She's like, oh, that's going to be probably $2,000. I go, $2,000? Yeah, try more like $8,000. It was $6,800, $6,900, almost $7,000. Can't wait to get back northeast for a clam dinner. Yeah. Good old clam bake. I remember it when I was a kid. I loved fried clams, but didn't know much about steamers. And we went to this family on our block. They had a big steamer party, and they had that giant pot going with the steamers. And oh my God, and the drawn. Oh my God, it was so good, so friggin' delicious. I was like, I could eat a mound of these. This is amazing. But generally, I like more of a fried clam than the steamer. You know, spouse hit a deer at low speed, almost $7,000 in damage. Yeah, more in the vehicle. Well, I wouldn't mind it, but the damage to his car was so slight, and we just bought the car. He's like, how are you possibly totaling this? I said, well, we just bought it, so if you're going to declare it a total loss, you can pay us the total amount we paid for it. That clearly must be the market value. And they're like, whoa, we got a book. I'm like, yeah. Everyone's got a book. A very self-serving book. Yeah, the selling book is always high. The insurance book is always low. I know. It's a very self-serving book. That's why they love it so much. Oh, who's that? That's Cutie. Cutie with the boot butt. She's got a poot butt. So I went up last night to make a coffee, and I came back downstairs. As soon as I got to the bottom of the stairs, it was like a punch in the face. Skunk. I was like, uh-oh. And it only got stronger as I walked down here, and it was the strongest at the window. And I saw a skunk slink past the window, very close to the window, like a week ago. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell was that? I think that was a raccoon, And I look on the cam, and it's a skunk. I'm like, ay. Well, Skunky came back, and he or she let loose around the window. A little warning shot. Patty Dill, welcome to Cool Bro. I'm going to do the Patty. You've decided to throw your life away. Welcome to Cool Bro, bro. Now you have access to extra icons. That's why I had it on the wrong pickup, I think. Where's my... There we go. Shame. Welcome. Oh, thank you, Patty. Yeah, I know. I'll be up if Skunky comes back. I think that's Skunky with an IE. What's up, Johnny Bean? We were talking about the new EVH earlier. The new SA. Right there. And now, someone said they got one. So they're in stores? I mean, they're actually, like, available? Or do you have to get them direct, maybe, at this point? Oh, find a dealer. Find a dealer, so... we might have to... Who's got it? Sweetwater? Who's got it? Who already has it in stock? No. Just... oh, yeah. Pre-order. So what are they... so who's... that's a pre-order. Oh, that doesn't say pre-order. So 3 out of 4 say pre-order. Oh, 1 is back-ordered. Of course. It's not pre-order. It's back-ordered. How dare you? Interesting. I can still add it to the cart. But obviously it wouldn't be shipped until they got stock in. I wonder if Zounds... my buddies over at the Zounds. SA-126. Oh, yeah. Same thing. It's a pre-order. It's all on a pre-order. Pre-order today. Pre-order today. Pre-order today. It's all pre-order. No. Skunky with a Y is an adjective. A skunky as a name is an IE. Right? Capital S ends in IE. Or just, how else could you do it? I guess that's it. Just an I. Just an I. 2 Ks and an I. What amp sim software are you using? Guys, help them out. Help them out. Ron's got it. By the way, Steve, that Traveler guitar from Zounds was awesome. That was not from Zounds. I don't think Zounds sells Furch or Furk. It's a very high-end brand. No, that was directly from Furch. What the furk? The furk? I think in America we pronounce it furch, like birch, but church. But it seems like they're going with a more of a k sound, as in Bach. So furk. Yeah, exactly. It's the orange. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Do-do-do-do-do. Sounds it's looking like June 13th, the earliest, yeah. They all pre-order this stuff. Everything takes... That orange is amazing. Yeah. Especially that dual delay. Yeah, this is a trunk amp. Signed by the owner of Orange. The founder and owner of Orange Amps. Cliffy. They're like, you can take this and do a giveaway. I was like, sure. Yeah, oh, definitely. We'll definitely be giving that away. It's on my to-do list. Exactly. If Jimmy was still alive, if Randy was still alive, he would be playing the orange. I'm just saying. I should sign it and do a giveaway. I could see it at Antiques Roadshow. Signed by the founder of Orange. They turn it over. Oh dear. Oh, well, this will hurt its value severely. You think? Oh, yes. Oh. So yeah, we don't have any no Too Good to Go tonight. Kind of a bummer. But, you know, they broke it off with us. We're all ready to go over. They were like, hold up. Exactly. Signed by the former Pixie Licks. Pawn Stars. Best you can do is 50. More like 50 cents, those guys. Yeah, let me call a buddy who's an expert. When they come down, they do a whole thing about the history of Orange amps. And you're like, okay, anyway. Have you any guitars on a mental list that you really want, new or old? Not really. You know, I'm always up for like if an old RG 560 showed up, it always, you know, piques my interest. Or like that Charvel showed up on my feed, and I, you know, at $449 I probably would have bought that if it wasn't already sold. So some more like you know, 80s guitars, more vintage, sort of older stuff. Nothing really new that I've been really looking for. I've got so many freaking guitars. I tell you, the one of the things on my radar though is the new that new Epiphone. I want to get one of the Les Paul customs. Unfortunately, they had one in recently at Zounds. Came in used, not used, but you know, like an open box return. But unfortunately, it sold before they could get it to me. So it's on back order. They're out. They're completely out of stock. The only stock they had was that return. They sold out of that first run like instantly. Yeah, the expert's a reverb seller and tells you it's worth $1 million. Oh yeah, it's got to be the original neck joint, the slanted neck joint. I don't like the later. I don't even think that, did they ever do the 560 with an AANJ? I only think they did the. Quite frankly, I think only the 570 might have made it to that. Did they even do a 550? Not sure they did. I think only the 570 survived into the all-axis neck joint. Yeah, even though 80s is 40 years ago, and you could buy a vintage guitar from the 50s and 60s and, you know, the early 80s, we still don't see that 80s stuff quite as vintage. It's starting to come around a little bit more. Hello, Juan Blanco. Yeah, exactly. Even when they did the Genesis, they went with a square neck plate with the slanted neck heel. Yeah, I agree. That's the way to go. Somebody's walking in. Do. You know, it used to be 20 years, Tony, then 25, you know. Now it feels more like 40. Just because they made so much. That's the other thing. Don't forget just the sheer volume. Electric guitars were a new thing in the 50s. They didn't make a ton of them. By the time you get to the 80s, there's just so many being produced. You know, production definitely ramps up. And then it's all supply and demand after that. Yeah, 40 is the new 25, exactly. Exactamundo. So I got the next round of guitars in. I'll start shooting those videos. I got the last of the first round. Comes out Monday. And I'm going to afford the guitars in the 50s. Yeah, they I want to say, how much were Strats when they came out? I want to say they were $249, which was expensive, right? It's a lot of money in the 50s. What was the 59 Les Paul? I think the same thing, right? Were they $250? $350? You know? That red Schecter with Sustainiac was nice. Yeah, right? Very fun guitar. Really dug that guitar. Any PRS guitars coming? Not yet, but that is on the short list. That is on the short list. I definitely want to get some PRS here, without a doubt. Was it $335 for the 335? That's like the what was it? It was like the ARP, like 2600, came out in like 1973 for $2,600, the equivalent of like something like, you know, $18,000 today. It's like something stupid. Say, who has the money? Who had the money? My God. $247. Wow. Now I saw the EVH and the FERC. Yeah. Were there more than those? Yeah. There's there was the Schecter. So every Monday is the guitar of the week, but there'll be other videos, as obviously the Furch was. I could have held on to the Furch for the guitar of the week, but you know, I just got it, and I think they want to see a video, and so I got the video out. I'll probably do more with that Furch, though. It's such a gorgeous guitar. 3 guitars in each round. And again, it has nothing to do with that Furch. Or Furch. I saw Furch at the NAMM show, and a good friend of mine works for them. So between those two things, and they've been looking to promote the Little Jane. So I said, yeah. And they're like, we'll send you one. And Henning just recently had a bunch at his place, right? Yeah, the Schecter, which with the Sustainiac is a pretty cool guitar. Though I have to say, that EVH, they do make a few, like, appointments, right, to bump it up. The steel block, the, you know, the brass block, and the Floyd Rose 1000, and the quarter sawn neck. You know, almost nobody's doing quarter sawn anymore. It's all flat sawn. But a buddy of mine was telling me, he goes, you realize that nobody cuts a log quarter sawn any longer. You'd have to rotate the log, and nobody does it. He goes, what they all do is they go flat sawn, but 2 pieces, roughly 2 pieces per cut, one on each side that flanks the core, are your quarter saws. So, you know, they're cutting all these pieces out, and like literally, 2 of the pieces will be quarter sawn, and the rest are not. He goes, so it's just the luck of the draw, or they pull it out and they charge more for the quarter sawn. It used to be everybody was quarter sawn, but man, that's gone. Schecter and ESP LTD lines are both putting out great guitars under $1,000. I agree. There's a lot of people. That's a number. That's like the new, you know, $599 is $999. It's been creeping there for probably 10 years now, but it seems like there's a whole bunch of guitars right at that like $899, $999, $1099 price point. That's a crowded price point. What are you doing there, Boots? Do-do. Well, what do you think of the new Epiphones inspired by Gibson? Are they really improved? They look to be. I love the headstock on it. They upgraded the pickups, you know. So, I think $5.99 is probably certainly $4.99 is considered budget. $5.99 they might be getting there, creeping up to that. A couple weeks ago, you're talking about a new white Epiphone 335 with the split edge socket, blah blah. Unfortunately they sold it. I couldn't get it here before it was gone. I wanted to get that. Do I still have the white Epi Custom? I do not. That is long gone. That went, I guess it's coming up to a year ago. Would have been a year ago in June? Maybe May? I forget now. What happened to the Badlands guitars? I never had one here. I never had a Badlands here. They never sent you one? How rude. You know what? Tone King talked to me and he said that he goes, I could definitely send you one to check out. But I think they sold them all out. And I was like, don't waste a guitar on me. I don't, clearly you don't need promotion to sell them. So hold up. Because he definitely offered when they were first putting them together. He goes, I can't give you a guitar, but I can probably, get you one to do a demo. I'm like, sure. But I think they wound up selling out anyway, so the promotion was unnecessary. Two-minute warning. Lick My Love Pump is, I think it's D minor, right? La, la. Is it D minor? It's two chords. Is it D minor to C major? It is the saddest of all keys. Yeah, intravenous de Milo. The funny thing is a lot of those albums didn't even know what was coming. So you see a lot of the response, right? It's like literally improvised. You know. Exactly, D minor. It's the saddest of all the keys. All right, dudes, it is 9 p.m. So we will call it a night. Thanks so much for hanging out. It's great to see everybody every week. And, super thanks to everybody for hanging out. Super extra special thanks to anyone who contributed. Welcome to new members. And, of course, Brofist to my Mod Squad. Mod Squad. Mod Squad, can you hear me? Where is the mods have gone. They've moved on. Mod Squad. But that's okay. We're still here. All right, dudes. I will see you all again next week. Stay tuned for the new Guitar of the Week coming out on Monday. And there you have it. And there you go. And I will see. Have a wonderful week. We will do it all again next week. And there you go. No. You rock. And there you have it. All right, dudes. Have a great week. And I'll see you all next week. Check out Guitar of the Week. And I'm going to try and figure out something I can do with those guitars while they're here. Maybe I'll do I don't know, in-depth look or so. I don't know. You know what? My review videos are already friggin' 20, 30 minutes, maybe shorter videos instead of longer. So we'll see. Anyway, have a great night to everybody. And see you all next week. And until then, rock on. All right, dudes. Later.